we've gotten some feedback recently that me and Juan tend to bully Ian, but, and I'm not going to disagree. I definitely bully Ian, but Ian can take it. She just pretends like she can't, and also she pretends like she can't give it back. And but she does give it back. She just does it very slyly.
Hi there, Ian here. May I weigh in? Excuse me. I completely agree with everything you're saying. And the feedback we got was from a friend. And I actually, in that conversation, said, see, but I fully am aware of everything she was feedbacking on. And I said, I am handling it.
Yes.
And I know everything that's happening that she's seeing, like, I'm fully aware of. You know what I mean?
Listener, Milker, question mark? We see you, we hear you, and we want to do better.
We want to do better. We don't want to bully Ian. We don't want to make him feel less than.
Well, I don't want to make him feel less than, but I will bully. I bully all my friends.
You missed that. That was good.
What did he say?
He said the world does that enough.
She's got a tongue on her.
I know.
She's got a tongue.
I know. Can we hear it? Can we see it? Can we hear it? Can you? What's the tongue? Yeah. Nice.
Yeah,
I know she is a mess.
That's a mess.
Yeah. No, there's.
Yes.
She's wearing a bib.
Oh my God. The ASMR of your sex life, I bet.
Yeah, you don't even want to know.
I'd subscribe. Which brings me back to, guys, just remember, like, subscribe, rate this podcast. I'm saying it now because I know I'm going to have ADD and these two are going to forget. And then we're always going to be like, we have to ask them about, and so we never do, so I'm doing it now. Hola, beautiful souls. ¿Cómo están? Buenas tardes. How's it going? Oye, are you hungry? Good thing, because it's time for your weekly slice of Tres Leches, served as a podcast, your favorite auditory treat where the zest of Latino culture meets the effervescence of queer narratives, with your hosts, Ian, Johnny, and Juan. Let's start the show.
Today's a very special day
really
because
is.
we have a guest on that is very near and dear to my heart and very near and dear to the hearts of America. You have seen him on shows like Ugly Betty, With Love, RuPaul's Secret Celebrity Drag Race. Was it a secret? Anyway, and seasons 1 through 4 now of Hacks. She's a fashionista. Yes. She's got opinions, and she's the sweetest, most beautiful angel I know. Please welcome to the Tres Leches stage, Mark Indelicato.
Hi.
Oh my God.
It's very, very special to be here today.
Oh my God. Are you transitioning?
Oh my God.
Sorry.
Not yet.
These hush tones are just
I know.
I did like wearing those boobs on Drag Race.
Oh my
though.
God. You look so good on Drag Race.
When
what was your
that?
drag name again?
Thirsty Von Trapp.
Yeah.
I didn't choose that, by the way.
You didn't?
I wanted to be called Selena.
Oh.
Period.
Just Selena.
Just Selena.
And they said
spelled the same way?
whatever way they wanted to spell it. They could put a GH in it. I don't care. But they were like, that's not it's not a drag name.
Yeah.
For that
For those
context
purposes,
of the program.
Would you be doing drag again? Would you do it again?
Abso-fucking-lutely not, Johnny.
No,
and I've said it multiple times. It's gutted. It's rotted. It's everything that Trixie and Katya talk about.
Do you know, I'm sorry, you are giving me vocals of a young Harvey Firestein. Ooh. You are
It's the
icon.
smoking.
You're already, what did you say?
It's the smoking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, honestly, keep it up because I kind of like it. Like, I like it. So if you could keep smoking for me and my ear, I would appreciate it.
You smoke, right? A lot.
Yeah, can I smoke in here?
That would be really
I have my
fierce.
jewel right here.
Oh my God. You're like my dad. I went to the movies with my dad and he was there like,
Oh no, I'm literally
Did you? I didn't.
Wicked
realize-
was a long movie.
Yeah.
What was I
for
supposed to
Wicked,
do?
absolutely.
oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wicked.
I'm not supposed to smoke through the Brutalist?
Oh my God.
Everyone just get a grip.
That's what the 15-minute intermission is for. Was it 15 minutes?
I don't know. You experienced it.
Oh, I did. I saw it by myself. Did you see it by yourself?
I did not see it by myself, but I did see it. And 15 minutes was not long enough.
Yeah. I mean, the movie was almost as long as Adrian Brody's speech at the Oscars.
Oh my God.
Child.
Get her off the stage!
Please, where's the editors?
Make that one make sense.
So, Mark, Ian has a fun little game.
Oh,
he
yeah.
wants to
Okay,
play.
so I
Let's
thought
play a game.
We don't really need an icebreaker, but it was like,
Yeah.
let's do just like, whatever.
Let's
so
do
you're
that.
this will be like a swipe left or right on any of the things I'm about to say.
Okay,
So,
here we go.
and just to explain, because I needed the explanation, but swiping left is like no.
Right.
And then right is right.
She's been on the apps.
I needed a refresher.
We're going to get back there.
We're gonna. It's really short, but it's kind of like rapid fire.
Yeah.
Okay. So here we're gonna play swipe left or right with Mark and Delicado. Gay cruises,
Left.
musicals,
This one's tough.
It's complicated.
I'm gonna go right.
okay.
Okay.
Musical episodes on non-musical
Left.
shows. Okay. Okay. Flan.
Okay. This is controversial because I know where you're coming from with this.
Yeah. Cuba.
But I have to go left.
Same. We're the
I
same.
don't like it.
Same.
It's a textural
Same,
issue.
Got it,
baby.
got
Go.
it.
That's
That's
why I
fair,
put it up
that's fair.
because it's controversial.
What about Tres Leches, though?
Right.
Thank you.
Do you know what it's the same flavor profile.
Right.
It's just a different texture.
Correct.
It's
there
a
are
wet
many.
cake.
Yeah.
It's a wet cake.
Which period.
Period. That's a little too wet. Okay, next one. Method acting.
Left. I show up and fly by the seat of my pants.
Ooh, I like it.
And you always land the plane.
That's right. Thank you, baby.
People who say, I don't see color.
Oh, left. I mean,
Barbara Streisand.
right.
Skinny jeans. Oh my God, I didn't think I was going to be getting so many gasps. This
Yes.
is great.
No, this is tough because they are having a resurgence.
They are.
I'm gonna, you know what? I'm gonna be controversial on
love
this
that.
pod today
Yeah.
and go right.
I love it. Yes.
What's old is
Leopard
new
print.
Oh,
Well, obviously, right. Look at the
Listeners, he's
material.
wearing
darling.
leopard print, but that was on the list before he got here. Wink. Oh, the Versace 1994 collection.
Obviously, right.
Correct. Hacks season 4.
Right. Double star, roses.
Yes.
Whatever you put in the
Yeah,
app.
super like.
Super like.
super like match whatever.
Fire emojis.
Yeah.
Work.
Speaking of hacks, that's where we met.
That's right.
Yeah. And I will say, like, the first time I met you, I was so nervous because I was like, oh my God, I'm in the presence, I'm in the presence.
Wait, okay, first of all, you saved it for the pod to tell me that? Because you've never told me that before.
Yeah,
He be hiding compliments
good
sometimes.
producing.
Yes. That is so deliberate.
That
But you
happens at
couldn't
Tres
tell.
Leches.
I was shaking
save
in
it
my
for the
boots. But the thing is, because sometimes when you know who someone is, you do that dance of like, do I say that or do I like, you know what I mean? I don't know if they're gonna be nice. And then you were nice. So I was like,
Yeah.
okay, we'll just keep it as like we're friends. But like, of course. And I think also we did this Netflix thing where we talked about Latinape representation.
That's right.
And we talked about you and what your character meant on Ugly Betty. And it was just like, it's just one of those things where it's like a pinch me moment where you're like, I've seen this person and now I get to share space with this person. And not only that, but I get to be friends with them. So I just think it's really special.
That's quite
It
assumptuous.
makes me so happy.
Thank you for
And I love that we've had, cute drunken nights. I've pulled you away from Kate Winslet when you were doing too much.
Yes. I recall so fondly, like the first night, the first day that we ever met, like on set. It was when we were filming. It was season 1. It was the dinner. Yeah. And it was like literally, it was one of the only times I think on Hacks that all of us are in the same room at the same time.
Yeah.
On screen?
On screen, but also just like sitting in like holding, like with our chairs and stuff, like where everyone was interacting with
Where
one
Jean
another.
sits also, by the way.
Of course.
Not all actresses sit with the rest of the
No,
cast.
I mean, but I think that there was something so special because I feel like in the first season especially, I really only was with Jean, Hannah, and Carl.
Yeah.
And never really got to see anyone else. And so it was almost like I was like the new kid at school because everyone else had been hanging out like all day, filming this very illustrious kind of dinner scene that took, all of those took like the entire day. And I came only at the very end. And so you saying that you were nervous, I was kind of just like, oh my God, I'm meeting like a bunch of people that I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, and now look at us. We're all over the place. We go to all these fun events. And, it is also nice because, like, especially with you and Hannah, it just feels like good to have your people. Like, because that's the thing. Sometimes you work with people, you're like, those are my coworkers. But then sometimes we'll go out and we'll have a good time, and it just feels like these are my people I can call when I like do need something. And it's also so nice when people ask you in like an interview, like, what's it like working with the cast? And you
don't have to lie.
You don't have to lie.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I think that there was also something like I've been very, very lucky, like in my career to have been on, now 2 shows where we're all still like genuinely good friends, and you don't have to do that kind of song and dance of like, it was amazing, and like this person doesn't look you in the eye, Ugly Betty was like that, and Hacks is like that, and it truly, it just truly is.
She's like, and the other shows she was on, you can look into those and figure out which one she's talking about.
Yeah, there's only a few others.
Others.
So season 4, Damien is stepping into some new shoes.
Yes.
What can you? I mean, I know that we're not supposed to spill any tea, but
girl, don't get me in trouble now. We have one more season to go.
Right, exactly.
Please don't get me fired right now.
What can you say that people should look forward to, specifically with Damien?
Specifically with Damien, I mean, you get, I think one of the episodes in the season is a very like Damien heavy episode, and he gets to kind of like, you see him let loose in a way that you've never seen before.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
And it's fun, and I feel like it's so nice to not only to play, right? Like, because it's of course fun to play Damien, but he's wound up so tight that it's like, it almost, at a certain point, I'm like, I get wound up really tight, like in my personal life. Yeah. And so like, it was fun to read the script originally and be like, he gets to kind of let his hair down a little bit more than normal.
Yeah. Did you feel like when you got the role, and even up to now that you've been in this role, did you feel like it was close to you, or was he very different? And then it's morphed into being more like you because you've had the like very privileged journey of being part of a show that's been running now for, it's gotten 4 seasons, like that. That's so nice that like characters get to get built out like that. Like, was he close to you, or has it shifted and been more as it's gone on?
I don't think that at the beginning. I mean, I guess that's probably a question for like Paul, Lucci, and Jen, but I really feel that from jump, Damien was not meant to be the character that Damien became. Damien was meant to be way more peripheral than he has become.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of like trial by fire for me though, where, we'd be shooting something, and Johnny knows this, where Lucci will just be like, say something funny here. Or like, and not to say, I mean, and listen, they come normally with a million alts, but even that alone is like, it's daunting if you're not like locked into that kind of way of shooting something. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure that we're all used to shooting things out of order or things of the like, but I mean, or just coming in with like over the loudspeaker, like while we're still rolling, being like, instead of this, why don't you say this?
Yeah.
Because that's funny. And it's like, and it is. Yeah. And it's better. And it's probably what they end up using.
Yeah.
But I think in the very beginning, I was like, it was so daunting because I was just like,
you just want to do good, and you want to.
I just want to do well, and I also don't know what you just said to me.
Right.
Yeah. Right. I got you.
And then they're like, action, and I'm like, so anyway.
Sometimes I think you forget how fierce you are.
I think I do a lot.
You're like, you're in those moments. You're like nervous when it's like you're so fierce. Like, just do that.
I think that it's like, it's coming with age though.
Okay. Yeah.
I think that like it's like, it's hard to feel like you're fierce when you're like 15.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like, I turned 30 this past July. So
Congratulations.
thank you so
survived.
much.
We've been there.
Yes, we have. We were.
But I
that
feel
long
like
ago.
it's coming
Yes.
with age. Like I feel like
Not by
I'm
much.
like leaning in more
Yeah.
into like my self-confidence and like my self-assurance at like the older that I get and like in like the best way.
So when you're shooting Ugly Betty and you're a kid, basically, are you petrified the entire time?
No, because I had like first of all, I was surrounded by like so many women.
Yeah.
And that were gassing me up the entire time. I'm like, Ana Ortiz is literally like my best friend on the whole entire planet. And, and that's who I worked the closest with, like outside of America Ferrera. So it was kind of like, and America when we started was 21. Wow. So it was just kind of like, she was also navigating this kind of number one on the call sheet moment in the ways in which I was navigating like whatever the fuck this was, you know what I mean? And so, but Ana, like I felt very protected and, it didn't come without its obvious like struggles, but I felt like I wasn't petrified because if I didn't like remember my line or something, like it would like Ana was basically always standing next to me at a certain point being like, baby, you got it. Just like, do it again. Start again. And so there was a culture of support. And I do feel like that on Hacks as well. Like that's one of the similarities that I feel that, there is such a culture of support. And everyone wants each other to win.
Yeah.
Like there's like
You're not
everyone wants
jockeying.
to shine, of course. Like we're actors.
Great, and you want to do good. And
You know what I mean? Like we want our moment
Yes,
and everything
of
like that.
course.
But if everyone gets the moment, then you get the moment as well by proxy. And so the sooner that everyone clicks into that reality, the easier it is to kind of move through it. Like, don't you feel like that, Johnny?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, it's so fun. I think that I get nervous too, mostly because I am such a fan of everyone's work that I'm like, ooh, I just want to live up to that kind of expectation too. Like, I want to get a laugh from Lucia. Like, you know what I mean? It's like,
But
when you're
you
especially
give it, and you go out there and you really improv. You really put your neck out, Diva.
okay.
No, and he does get like, and he does.
yeah, of course.
And then he takes the toilet paper off of the heel of his shoe.
That's right. That's right. And then
So do you get
and then
laughs?
we realized that it was just
Yeah.
because of that. But it doesn't matter. A laugh is a laugh.
laugh is a
Ian.
laugh.
Laugh is a laugh. Good song. Laugh is a laugh.
That's a song from where?
No, I'm making
I'm
one
like,
up.
what musical? Oh,
I was like, I don't know that
Stephen
show.
Sondheim.
I was surprised. But what you were just saying, like that speaks to everyone when everyone does well, and that's why Hacks is. We've said this before on this podcast, but Hacks works because, and what's amazing about it is that like every character is important to the viewer. Every character, and that is remarkable.
And the ways in which the each character is only important, every character is important to the viewer because the people that write the show, those that have created the show have made it so.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Have
not,
made it
that's
important,
very
have made
intentional.
every character kind of indispensable
Yeah.
to the show and to the
The
audience.
world building is incredible.
Exactly. That's
Exactly.
exactly right.
It's
The world
unmatched.
building. Because you think of All in the Family.
oh wow.
Every character is
We're going all the way
so
back.
lovable and amazing, but it's an ensemble of 4,
happens here
5,
when you're
6
27
characters.
plus.
You count the Jeffersons, right? Then you look at shows like the great shows where you really care about these larger ensembles.
Desperate
Downton Abbey,
Housewives.
Desperate Housewives, Ugly Betty,
Friends.
Mary Tyler Moore, Friends. These shows were like every
Will and
character.
Grace.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes.
I mean, the
Even the
list goes on and on.
peripheral characters
Ensemble
become
characters.
huge.
I think that like Sex in the City.
Oh my God.
I
Yes.
mean, it's like, but I think that ensemble casts are not only important in terms of like just keeping the content kind of fresh and not being so monotonous because you can kind of go when you have a bunch of characters to play with.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't become so monotonous. But I also think that, you know, you see yourself in pretty much every character in an ensemble show.
Right.
I think that like I've had to rewatch Ugly Betty for something that Anna and I are working on, but I wasn't necessarily like stoked about doing so. But then watching it back, I was just like, oh my God, I relate to this like X character in this capacity. Like, oh my God, I'm such a Betty, like when it comes to this, or like I'm such an Amanda, or like I'm such a Hilda here, or like I'm such a Mark
my God,
here.
Yeah. Was Thea Hilda, or was she? Who was that?
That was Anna. She played my mom.
Oh, that's right.
Hilda,
Okay.
yeah.
But then was there it was her and then
Betty was my aunt.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everyone, there was this narrative for a long time where everyone thought that she was my sister.
Yeah. I think
But
I've thought
Anna
that.
was my mom.
I think because you were so close in, you know. It
Oh, sorry. I
seemed
thought
like
Betty was your sister. In this moment, I just had to.
No,
be
Betty's my aunt, and
Yeah.
Hilda was my mom.
Got it.
It's
So
because
they're
Hilda's
sisters.
also she's a young mom. Like she's
That's
giving
right.
she's giving Latina mom. Like
She
young.
was serving
was so
the
good.
Cavalli
She was.
G.
And she's still serving.
How is she? She's not here, but how is she?
She is so great.
Please give her our love.
She is
Please.
so great.
Like,
I was literally with her before I came here
should have brought her.
today.
I love
She's
that you guys
busy.
are so close. I love that you and Han are so close. I love it. Just like I just love that because it is such a weird fucking industry, and it's so nice when you have people that you know you can lean on, but also talk shit about this crazy, ridiculous job that we have.
Well, and I think that like talking to people that are not in the industry, I think that there is this element, which rightfully so. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like of just being like, you're so lucky to be able to do something that you love and not be clocking in for, you know, your 9 to 5 and whatever. And they're right about that.
Yeah.
But there's a lot that we have to go through in this industry that no one could ever particularly understand, and you know, and it's not for them to understand. So it is nice to just have people to lament with, you know, to actually vent with, that they understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Well,
you don't
because you
sound
have been
crazy.
famous a long time.
Long time.
You've been famous longer than Katy Perry.
I have been famous longer
You've
than
been famous
Katy
longer
Perry,
than Lady Gaga.
and I'm gonna be famous longer than Katy Perry.
That is true. And that's on Mary Had a Little Lamb.
Correct.
Are you a little monster?
Pull up in the Sri Lanka.
Sometimes I have to ask questions for the listeners.
Am I a Nicki fan?
Oh my
Pull
god!
up in the Sri Lanka.
Pull up in the abracadabra.
Girl, the way that Mayhem
That
has
got me
been
good.
turning me all
The way
out.
So
Do you have
good.
like a favorite?
Okay, I knew you were gonna ask me this, so I was preparing on the way to this
You're a
event.
psychic.
She's a theater girl.
We're taking abracadabra out of it,
Okay.
Because I really think that if
It stands.
strategically, I think that she buried the lead. I wish that I would have opened the record and then heard it for the first time. That it wasn't a single.
Okay.
But it's neither here nor there.
Yes.
Okay.
Vanish into you.
Oh, really?
When my cancer is jumping, like when my, you know, when I'm feeling like really in my feelings, I've cried to that song multiple times, alone in my room, looking in the mirror. Yep,
Are you
staring.
reciting lyrics right now?
Sorry.
Are you reciting
No,
lyrics?
that's she's saying what she.
No, I'm
The cancer in
pontificating.
her zodiac sign.
Yeah.
Not her
Oh,
actu-
I
not her-
see.
When
I made
I'm
a cancer
sta-
joke.
Like
Terrible.
I have put on my headphones and have stared in the mirror.
I'm obsessed.
Now,
The actress
have
in
I
you.
smoked an entire joint? Probably.
Smart.
But like that
Perhaps.
doesn't matter.
I need a refresher on Vanish Into You. It's like I know
Vanish
them.
Oh.
into you. It's so good, and I love. I mean, I love
Got it.
It's just those sustained.
power ballad like tease.
Yeah. If you like.
Great,
It's for
got
the
it,
fans
okay.
of Gypsy. You know what I mean? It's that.
It gives very but it gives
Yeah.
very art pop tea.
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
Killa
Oh, yeah,
Love.
that's a good one. Yeah.
Yep.
and her SNL performance made me love it even more.
Yeah.
Because
I love that little Lord Frog
Bowie.
wig
I haven't seen
that
it.
It's
she's
giving
wearing.
David Bowie down.
Yeah.
Zombie Boy makes me want to dance.
Yeah.
Sure.
Great song.
Yeah.
And Shadow of a Man.
Shadow of a Man.
Shadow of a Man takes me all the way there.
She can write a hook.
But
really
I'm
can.
like, but in that exact order, like I'm coming by Shadow of a Man. You know what I'm saying?
For
Right.
sure.
I
Climax.
also like Don't
I'm
Call
climaxing.
Tonight. Don't Call Tonight is also really good.
See, I don't
call
know because
tonight, Oh, that feels very like the Fame. That song.
Yeah.
it's good. Listen, I like after Shadow of a Man though. I could do without the rest of the record.
Oh.
I could.
Same. I know what you mean.
Guess what I don't want to hear? The Beast. Guess what I don't want to hear? Blade of Grass.
Blade of Grass is
there are
probably
many
mine.
songs.
And I understand.
Many
and I
songs.
like and I love that means something to her.
Yeah.
And that's her record and like whatever. I mean, listen,
Fibromyalgia.
I'm Neurotech OTC.
Exactly.
However, I don't need to hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I've heard "Die with a Smile" enough. Like
Yeah.
we could,
Totally.
It didn't need to be on the record.
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
Are you going to Coachella?
Well, the issue is that I'm looking to be sponsored to go.
Oh,
That is a very queer way
actor
of being. Yeah.
plethora
I'm
element,
like,
or,
yeah, sure. I'll live in a house with a bunch of 20-year-old
Yeah.
fucking influencers.
Patron
Oh,
house.
like that.
Yeah. Procter
Yeah.
and Gamble, Johnson
I
and
can't.
Johnson,
I
Colgate, are
can't
you?
say like what brand I'm talking to about doing it because I don't know if it's gonna happen.
You should. I mean, don't say the brand, but like you should do it.
I mean, I suppose, but also it's like David can't come, and I'd just be alone
With
like
people you
these,
don't know?
with these like children.
Oh.
Got it.
It could be fun. Just a few days.
I
in the
don't know,
desert.
and I'm like, I can't wear a macrame outfit, like,
What do you mean?
and I can't wear a macrame outfit.
I get it.
Like,
I
I'm not like Alex Earl,
Yeah.
and I'm not bringing glam.
Can we talk
Yeah.
about fashion for a second?
I would love to.
Because Mark knows this, but no one else does. But when I'm really stuck in a pickle, usually I'm very good at knowing what I want to wear. But when I'm not sure about something, I will text Mark because Mark is not going to pull any punches. She's going to say what she thinks, and that's what I need. As a Virgo, you just need a
Yep.
bitch that's going to keep it real with you. And
Yeah, I'm gonna say I don't like it.
yeah, like there was this, I almost wore gloves. Remember when I almost wore gloves?
I said take those fucking gloves off.
I almost wore gloves with an outfit. And looking back, I was like, why was I it's like Coco Chanel said, da, 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 which I don't always agree with, obviously, but
Yeah.
she made
No,
the
but
right
those gloves were egregious, and they needed to go. And I told you, and you listened.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah.
And we're better for it.
So what do you think in men's fashion on the red carpets? What do you want to stop seeing?
What do you want to see?
Guys, it's just like I say this all the time, and like I feel like this might trigger Johnny, but
Gloves?
Issey Miyake, please.
I don't want to see Billy Porter on a red carpet ever again.
Oh.
You mean like what he gives or him?
That's what it's giving.
What it's giving. Okay.
What it's giving. I don't want to see stunts.
Oh, okay.
If we're gonna wear a skirt,
yeah.
I will be wearing a skirt to the GLAAD Awards.
Work.
However, it is a Jean Paul Gaultier 1997 skirt suit that is made that way. That is not like something ridiculous and stunting. I don't want stunts. That's what I don't like. I think that men's fashion also can be very, very impactful by being very, very classic. I think that men are trying to compete with women in the kind of red carpet fashion that it's like they need to do like so much. It's like, guess what works? A very well-fitted suit.
Tailor. Yes. Tailoring is your friend.
And a good shoe.
Yeah.
a good shoe.
A great
And make
shoe.
sure that your hair looks right.
Correct.
Yeah.
You know,
I was
we're
gonna
gonna
say
do. Yep. We're gonna say. Yep. Go.
two things. My mom always says something that I think, well, it doesn't apply to this, but it does apply. My mom always says, it's not what you're saying. It is how you're saying it.
That's
So
right.
a skirt is not a skirt, is not a skirt, is not a skirt, is not a skirt.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's a different thing.
I'll show you guys after
Correct.
after the telecast.
But
I see what you're
it's
saying, like
giving,
about
you know,
the
it's-
Wait, hold on.
stunts.
But wait. Give him 2
go
seconds.
no, the other thing that I was going to say is that there is a red carpet analyst.
Oh yeah. No, we're gonna do it. Nikki Bell.
Yeah,
Oh,
who I love.
I like
friend of
Nikki
the pod.
Bell.
Who's that?
Nikki C. Bell.
He does lazy. It's just basically like he'll go through an event on the red carpet. like,
all the Getty
on the
images.
TikTok.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
and he's like boring.
Yeah.
Wrong
Impeccable
color.
taste. I rarely disagree with
His
Nikki
takes,
Bell.
yeah.
However, I think that sometimes John Hamm will be wearing just a gorgeous tuxedo.
Yeah.
And Nikki Bell will be like, boring. I said, well, I mean, it's not.
He's a straight man in his 50s. What the fuck do you want him to
I
wear?
don't know what they're gonna do. Like, it fits nicely.
Yeah.
I mean,
I also
Coleman
think that
Domingo's in his 50s and he looks.
Accessories
So
are
good.
very important though
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
But
If
it's all-
there's the
yeah.
right brooch, if there's the right watch, if there's a pinky ring that's
Ooh, I
involved
love a
in the
pinky
situation,
ring.
a necklace if you have an open, which by
also-
the way is easy for these celebrities to get
Yeah.
because they can just call up Tiffany
Yeah.
and be like, "Hi, hello, I'm
Caller.
John Hamm,"
Exactly.
Ham.
So-
or their
okay, so-
stylists.
Yeah.
So no stunts, but what do you want to see?
What do I want to see? I want to see better tailoring and I want to see risks that make sense for the person that is taking said risk. Like, because there are men, like cis men,
Yeah.
that I feel like could take
Push the boundary a little.
these risks and
Yeah.
and do the skirting and do
Do it
the women's
tastefully.
wear and do all of that. It's just a matter of who it is. And I just find that, in my opinion, as of right now, a lot of the men that are doing it are the wrong men to be doing it. It doesn't suit them.
Yeah.
Literally.
No pun intended.
I feel like my pet peeve when it comes to men, specifically, I'll save this for cis gay men that are on the red carpets. I hate when someone wears, like a guy will, because he has a nice body, he'll wear a blazer, and that's it. And the blazer doesn't have any sort of, because here's the thing. I could understand if the cut really gave like show off, like, or there's like a bedazzle or like a
Yeah.
scarf or something that
The suit indicates this doesn't need anything.
doesn't need
under it.
anything
Yeah.
under. But
That's
when
right.
it's just like the blazer and I'm hot underneath, girl, give it
But
up.
it's because you're not selling it to me.
Yeah.
You having a hot body
Yeah.
is not a selling point. That's just something that you have.
right.
Like you have to have that does not indicate
Stop
style.
relying on that
just because
body.
but like literally Michelle said it 155 years ago.
Yeah.
Season whatever of
Yeah.
7,000 of Drag Race. It's like
Who do you think is the best dressed actress in Hollywood?
the best dressed actress in Hollywood.
Age is not a
Zendaya.
limit.
Yeah.
Zendaya, for sure, 100%.
Yeah.
I think Zendaya. I think that also because Zendaya's not signed to any
house.
brand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That,
She's
that
free.
she's not
Free.
that she's not forced
Unencumbered.
to
see?
wear.
Everyone in relationships, all you're tying yourselves down and look,
Listen,
you weighted down. You
the
can't.
money is fierce.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
I
get
would
it.
sign I would show whole for a Louis Vuitton contract or something.
correct.
Absolutely.
You know what I
Especially
mean?
with
The
this
money
latest
is
season.
fierce. But the freedom to not have
to,
to
yeah.
be beholden to the options that are offered to you, even if they're custom. Like those custom looks have to still be within the same vein of what that designer is doing for that house.
And it should also speak to you.
And to the artist.
Well,
To
right,
whom-
but
to
it
whomever
should
is-
speak, but it
doesn't
won't
sometimes, yeah.
because they're beholden to what they're doing for
What
the
that
house.
vision is,
I
yeah.
mean, I would Saint Laurent, Anthony Vaccarello for Saint Laurent is probably the best menswear that I see right now in terms of new menswear.
Okay.
Because he also incorporates a lot of his women's wear silhouettes into his menswear. So it is very androgynous implicitly.
I love.
And so I think I would implore all of the listeners to go back and look at his seasons from 2021 through 2023.
Okay.
Men's and women's wear.
I will be
They're
doing that.
really incredible collections, and they're
What's also, I think, interesting when you say Zendaya, because Zendaya just, and Law, obviously, they work, they're a team.
well. Law works his pussy out. You know what I mean?
He really does. But what's I love about their story is that she would just wear what someone else had already worn, and then she would get pictured in a side-by-side on like Us Weekly, and it would say like who wore it better. And Zendaya, being model-esque and being gorgeous, would always win the who wore it better. So that started to get her invited to more red carpets, and it was always like what they came up with. So now
But
they
it's
get
the styling.
to still correct, and they
They're still coming
get
up with
to,
it. Yeah.
correct. That's why they're not beholden, because
Yeah.
they're not plugged into. They plug themselves, and then people follow.
Well,
you
the
know?
real gag is that she doesn't wear certain designers
Because
They said no to her at the top
because
there,
they
yeah.
they told her no, which honestly that is such a gag.
So fierce.
and like
So
and
fierce.
honestly the
Big
like,
mistake.
the
Huge.
like literally
Yes.
like the pettiest, but like in the best way.
mean-
Yeah.
Like where I'm like,
have you met
don't
Law?
wear it.
Like that is Law wrote.
I have never met Law, and I'm scared to
I was
ever
scared
meet
too,
Law.
and Law's so sweet.
I know,
So,
but
so
like
sweet.
I'm just like, child, I need to know like when I'm meeting Law, what the look is going to be, like
my
what
God.
is like I don't want to hear him and his bust down talking to me sideways.
Speaking of what I'm gonna wear, if you had to dress all three of us for a red carpet,
Okay.
Ooh.
what? Because I love that you have such an understanding of tailoring, silhouette, shape, and like
Ooh, that's a good question.
and like how would you dress each of us for
I
us?
mean, Juan would definitely be in Saint Laurent based on just like the body. Like it's slim, it's slender. That is the kind of Vaccarello man.
work.
I would see Ian in, and listen, they're controversial, but guess what? I don't care.
Yeah.
Dolce & Gabbana.
Yeah, for sure.
I knew it was coming.
It's gonna be
I
Dolce.
definitely see you in a Dolce.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
Definitely.
Dolce.
I almost wore them to the Oscars 2 years ago.
It's gonna be Dolce.
They had a
and
really- yeah.
They make and guess what? They make a fantastic tuxedo.
yeah.
Period.
Sue me.
Sorry.
That's just
Okay.
the way it is.
And then Johnny, I kind of love like Johnny in like a Dries moment, a Marnie moment. I like
very
Johnny in a
him.
print. Johnny, because Johnny likes a print.
So give him what he wants.
And let him have it.
And I want people to get what they want.
But I like want Juan in like one of those like in those Saint Laurent shirts. It's like the chiffon one, the one
Yeah.
shoulder with the long thing.
Yes.
With
Oh
with
my
the
God.
tuxedo pant and the boot. Over.
Heaven.
Not
Oh
gonna
my
lie,
goodness.
and not
see
to be
what
that
I'm
girl.
saying?
Yeah. But like, so if you were styling me, by the way, I would.
She's like, this is just actually about what I should be.
Well, because while I agree with you, and I'm like, okay, yes, like I feel like
Wants to wear a dress.
I want to take more risk sometimes. Not because I'm going to so many red carpets, but there are moments where I'm like, there's many ways that I like to style myself. I like to either be super baggy and flowy, blah, blah, but then like I also can be, you can kind of put me in many, many things, but it's also hard because then there's so much choice and I'm kind of like, lazy.
You can take risks with suiting though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you can you the pant alone can change the
Yeah.
the entire vibe of the look, right? Like where does it fit on your waist? Like what
Ooh,
rises
high
it?
waist for
Are
me
we
is
doing
helpful.
something that's a little bit more straight, like a little bit more Vaccarello Saint Laurent? Are we going a little bit more kind of like flared out, going more 70s
Right,
vibes?
right.
Or like what like there's so much that you can do with suiting.
Yeah.
That,
you
you know,
should
I mean
Greaser-
but you in like a double-breasted, because you are like you in a
Double-breasted.
double-breasted jacket like will fit because you're like an upside down triangle.
I
And
would like to see
double-breasted
you in like
fits
a
better
Ralph
with
Lauren
that.
suit as well.
Ooh.
I could see you in like a Ralph Lauren.
Oh, yeah, for
like very
sure.
traditional tee,
Yeah.
maybe a
I
Prada.
also love, like, just like a separate thing, I like seeing ease on the carpet a lot. So sometimes there are people who you see and they're not the traditional suited person. I'm talking for men
see.
specifically.
Yeah.
I like seeing a man who can sometimes wear like a billowy kind of long shirt, but the way it falls and the way their hair
Yes.
and the way the styling
Yeah.
Name 'em.
helps.
Paul Downs does it really well.
Oh, Paul
Downs does it really, really well.
Does. And then you know what I love that he does is he will give you not it's not the essence. It literally is like there will be cinching, there will be shape. Right. But it's like the cummerbund.
What he wore to the SAG Awards this past year. I mean, it was like just a shirt with a cummerbund, and I told him, I was like, don't wear a jacket.
Yeah. Did he check in with you?
Of course he did.
Yeah. Work.
Ciao.
Ciao.
All the girls are checking in over here.
Oh my God, I gotta get your number.
All the girls are checking in over here.
I'll give you a Starbucks card.
Also, meanwhile, then I like send it to my stylist.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
I send it to Jim and be like, I'm saying the right thing, right?
I'm not crazy.
It's going up the chain. You know, I find it amazing that I wish that people would take more risks in fashion, like
In general, whether you're on a carpet or not.
Yes, and also like when you're, I'm with my mom is such a beautiful lady, and I feel like she feels so restricted as to like what she should wear and what she shouldn't wear.
Right.
She has like so many rules about like what is right, what's for this, what's for that.
Yeah.
It's like who cares?
Yeah.
You know,
I don't think that any of those rules actually are like applicable now. You know what I mean? It's like white after Labor Day type of
Oh my
rules.
God.
Girl,
you know
I'm
what I
wearing
mean?
white whenever I want.
No, yeah.
Also, but those rules
Cuban. I'm
even
wearing
back
white
in the
for
day
everything.
didn't matter because they would just call it winter white.
Yeah.
So it's like, girl,
Winter white.
please be so for real.
Yeah.
So where do you shop? Where do you
Where
like to go?
do I shop?
Are you a vintage girly?
I've been cut off, so I'm not shopping any longer.
Okay, fine.
By your fiance.
No, by my business manager.
Oh, okay. Who is also no, I'm just kidding.
Who is also my fiance.
I like to call business managers or accountants. I call it management.
Yes,
Management has
the powers
shut
that
things
be.
down.
Yeah. How's it be?
No, I mean, I honestly, I feel
higher-ups.
like in my daily life, like I feel that I have such beautiful, beautiful pieces, in my closet. But on the day to day, like especially living in Los Angeles, like if I lived in New York, it would be a completely different story.
Yeah.
But living in LA, like I'm in like my tennis clothes, like all day,
Her Princess
every
Diana.
day. Like I'm just like, no, literally, I'm in like a maroon sweater with Nike shorts and my tennis shoes.
Yes.
Like, and my tennis racket,
Right.
like going to
Do you play
tennis.
Yeah. Nice.
You know what I mean? Like where it's just like, it's not as important here. And I feel
But
like
there's glamour in that too.
That's what I was- yes.
I find the dress downedness of Los Angeles to be very glamorous.
Yeah.
I think it is.
I
I
was
think
in
that
the
it's
elevator.
like I think that
Or at
you
least
can denote,
stylish in its
It is.
way.
you can denote like who has style based on the ways in which they carry themselves.
Correct.
Like they're not hiding behind like a look.
Correct.
You know, and when you take a good look at the accessories, the accoutrement, you see that it's rich.
Time and attention.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
rich.
It would be so fierce if you weren't someone who played tennis and you were like, I got the tennis racket because that is the look.
I just walk around.
I'm walking around like
Do you
I
know
play
that
tennis.
I always wanted, like when I was younger, like I like wanted to like get a skateboard and just like walk around with it.
Oh my God.
Even
I
though
could see
like
that.
I could never like ride a skateboard.
Yeah. That's okay.
Why not?
Props.
But like walking
up
around with
now.
it,
Yeah.
like,
Girl.
how
How
come?
effortless.
Yeah. That would
Yeah.
be fierce.
Like me, just like with a skateboard
you at
under my arm,
Coachella
being
this
like,
year?
Oh my God.
That's
you're
your
that,
look. No,
that
fuck
Steve
the
Buscemi.
fashion,
yeah.
just wear a
Steve Buscemi.
skateboard.
Hey.
like,
cool.
oh God, I just got back from Venice. It's just the park is wild right now. They're like,
Crazy.
that's not a thing. The park is wild right now.
I want to ask you, what's the wildest night you probably had as an actor in your youth?
Something that I'm willing to share on the pod.
Yeah.
I feel like we're just starting an interview with Vivian Lee. This one's getting interesting.
You know, because Betty came out in 2006, and that was really, you know, the girls were really hanging out with Rachel Zoe.
Yes.
Hyde was popping.
Yeah. One Oak.
One
I was
O.
about to
I was
say
going-
One Oak. I was about to.
I was going to One Oak and Avenue from the time I was probably 14.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you will never not be famous.
Oh, this is a good one. Me and my best friend at the time, we were in high school. We were sophomores in high school, so we were 15.
Yeah.
Her name
And
is
we
Lindsay
went
Lohan.
to, and we, no, I wish.
PPAS?
She was so mean to me at that time. But,
PPAS? Or
Yep.
some- okay.
and,
Professional Performing Arts School for anyone listening in New
that's
York.
right.
Yeah.
skipped every single acting class, got held back twice.
And look, you didn't even need it.
Look at that. Was already on TV when I was doing it.
Right.
No, but we went to
it.
One Oak, and we're there, and we're 15, and we like went with some obviously like deardo fucking promoter, whatever. And
Your dad.
where are my where are my parents? Like, why are my parents letting me like go out like on a Saturday night like this?
Yeah.
I obviously said like I'm sleeping at like so and so, whatever.
Yeah.
Did that. And then we're there, and this man, like this big security guard man, like comes up to us, and we're like, shit, we've been found out. Like we're gonna get, our fake IDs or whatever. And he was like, to my friend, Leo wants to talk to you.
Ooh.
That would be Leonardo DiCaprio.
Right.
Work.
We wiggle on over there. And then he goes, how old are you? And she says, like, our real age. And he was like, get away from this table.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
I thought that was going somewhere else, actually.
No, we didn't. I mean, it was crazy because we were standing right there. I mean, like Leonardo DiCaprio was
Well,
right
he was
there.
also younger as well.
He was younger. I mean, wasn't
Not much younger.
that
I know. I'm helping him out right
Yeah,
now.
That was
yeah,
like
yeah.
15 years ago.
Yeah.
Right.
So he was like,
But he's known to like
almost 40.
a younger.
Yeah, if the answer had been plus 4 more years, you would have been.
oh no,
right
she
there.
would have been in the helicopter.
Yeah, exactly.
It would have been
Lake
over.
Como.
Yeah.
At
Oh
George
yeah.
Clooney's.
Oh yes, child.
At the Epstein Mansion.
And
with
go,
everyone.
not Epstein Island, girl. Oh.
God.
The ghetto.
And then remember when they reopened Bungalow 8?
Yeah.
That was a fun time.
Yeah.
Honey.
That was a fun time. PhD at the Dream Hotel.
I do remember.
Oh my
PhD
God,
at the
I
Dream
remember
Hotel.
PhD.
The day party.
Wow.
The day party.
You let
That's
New York have it.
And
I
she
mean,
saw all the. I mean,
and because when you're young like that, the bounce back,
Oh,
You
yeah.
could-
Instant.
it doesn't
Right.
matter. I could be throwing up on the sidewalk. I'm okay 15 minutes later.
yeah.
We're good to go.
Just give me I just need a slice of pizza and a Diet Coke, and we're ready to rock.
Amazing.
And that was like when paparazzi was like crazy town too. Like
Yeah, but the thing is that I think that even still today, paparazzi only sees you if you want them to see you. Like there's not I mean, especially in New York.
yeah.
Like New York is one of those places too where Sarah Jessica Parker is yeah, sure, you see her sometimes, but it's really just
Yeah.
locals just seeing her. And New Yorkers could give a shit less.
Yeah, yeah.
And by the way, I would go as far to say that Los Angelinos don't care as much as people think that they do.
It's the people
As
visiting.
Yeah.
if you're not
Yeah.
walking
Yeah.
down Hollywood Boulevard,
Yeah.
Los Angelinos don't give a shit.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean? It's, when I think about, Kyle Richards, for example, saying things like, oh, I can't escape the paparazzi. I'm like, okay, now hold on now. Because no one actually gives a flying fuck about you. Or your cheating husband for 15 years.
Yeah.
Because he hits you.
We don't
said it.
say that he hits you and that he broke your jaw. But now we said it.
Yeah,
I famously hate Kyle Richards, is what Johnny was just about
Yeah.
to say.
Got it.
really?
You've spoken about it on other podcasts.
No, on
I've
Watch What
spoken about it on Watch What
Live.
Happens Live,
Yeah.
and I will be appearing on Watch What Happens Live again in a few weeks, and I will be saying it again.
I love that.
especially with the
Fuck
content
her.
this season.
I love that we're kind of doing like amuse bouche dessert first, and then the main course is your watch what happens live.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Andy. I mean, you're so good on that show because I love when guests go on Watch What Happens Live that watch Bravo shows.
Yes.
Yes.
That's great.
Yeah.
I don't like when they're just going on to promote their book and they've never watched Housewives. Like at least watch an episode before
Yeah.
you go on Watch What
Yeah.
Oh
Happens
no,
Live.
I'm talking.
Yeah.
Wasn't
I'm
it
speaking.
that amazing moment wasn't it between Garcelle and Leslie Bibb? Weren't they sitting next to each
Oh,
other? And they
yeah.
were talking about the Sutton exchange when Sutton called out Dorit for not having a lot of money.
Yeah.
And Leslie appropriately,
Yeah.
Said.
tried to call her out for not clapping back to her
Right.
friend Sutton. And Garcelle got really defensive.
Yeah.
Good.
She said, "What are you gonna read?"
And that's called good TV.
And that was a good moment. It was a good moment because and Leslie pulled back. You could tell all of a sudden she was like a viewer. You know, she let her like, I'm in my living room.
But we love these girls. Like, that's the thing. Like, I feel connected to these girls. Like, you know, I mean, there would be no world in which I would ever accept an offer to go and watch What Happens Live if Kyle Richards was sitting in the first seat.
I would. What do you mean?
That seems like it.
No.
Say
Because
that
she
shit with
doesn't
your
want
chest.
this. She doesn't want this smoke.
This Harvey.
She
But
can't
she-
have it.
And
She
we
wouldn't
know
be
from
able to
watching the
take
show,
it.
she can't really take any smoke.
She can't take it, and honestly,
You guys would
I
be
don't
best
want to be.
friends.
I don't want to be associated with a Kyle Richards walkout part 2, the fucking
Oh,
remix. Okay,
I
Work
like
it out
forget
on the
it.
remix.
Standards.
Just Now, Kim Richards,
Okay.
we're doing the show. We're doing the after show. And we're going out.
and we're making sure she gets home.
You stole my goddamn house. That's what I want to get her to.
Have you partied with any housewives?
Sonia.
Oh my gosh.
And you've lived.
That
Who
is-
hasn't?
That is truly.
But who has
That is a party.
Oh, and Luann, because I grew up with Victoria.
Oh my god.
know that.
Some
I grew up
lore.
with Victoria. I stayed at the Bridgehampton house. I've stayed at the Sag Harbor house.
Work.
Nice.
I've stayed at Bluestone Manor.
Well, you are a friend of
Friend
Dorinda.
of Dorinda Medley. Yes, of
Famously.
course.
Fun.
So who is your favorite Beverly Hills housewife then? If Kyle's on the bottom of the totem pole, who's on top?
I did portray Erica Jane on Secret Celebrity Drag Race,
just
and I
at the
did win
gym.
Snatch Game about it. I'm loving Sutton.
I knew you were gonna say. I knew it. And you know, sorry. I'll let you speak, and I'll tell you why I think you like her. I'll tell you why I think you like her.
It's a mess.
Yeah.
It is a mess. She is so hypocritical. She makes for a good housewife. She is not interested in being virtuous for the viewers because she has so much fucking money that it does not matter. This is not her job.
Yeah.
This is something that she's doing to promote her now closed store.
Yeah.
So
No, it's open. She just moved to the other side. She
well,
said.
then her newly
and someone
moved
needs to work on
store.
her PR because
Yeah.
that's a mistake.
You know, like it's not like this is not her career.
Yeah, she's
and
also
I
not an
find that to
actress.
be the most fun because you have nothing to lose. Like Erica needs this. Dorit needs this.
Yeah.
Kyle would die if no one was talking about her. So she needs it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and Jennifer Tilly's just batshit fucking
my
crazy.
God.
So it's just
The two
you know,
houses is
It's just Jennifer Tilly is
the house to like entertain.
Jennifer
the house
Tilly's
for
like
this.
Simpsons money, but she's just batshit fucking crazy. It's
love
amazing.
her.
Why do you think I love Sutton so much?
It was so not going to be a big thing. It just was like I also I am actually not an avid Real Housewives watcher. I used to be back in the Disney, and now it's just like it's so much, too much, blah blah blah. But I have watched a couple of these episodes with them, and to me, what I find entertaining about Sutton is her southernness, because there can be such an air of like a feigned virtuosity, like this. But what do you mean? It's just
She can't be when she's not polite anymore, when she breaks the Southern code.
Yeah.
When it goes haywire and she just she literally glitches.
And sorry, I did see the episode where we met her mom and dad, and they
no,
went
well,
and visited.
her dad is dead.
Yeah, her dad died.
Oh, who was that person with the mom?
Her friend.
Her boyfriend, or
Oh,
friend.
okay. Excuse me.
yeah.
A man.
But the
a
mom
friend of her pod.
But the most the worst.
If you will.
I mean the
love-
worst mother in America.
Unbelievable.
just all of that.
Unbelievable.
made her
I
very
can't imagine. I
interesting
mean,
to me.
I call my mom 17 times a day and require her to say I love you. Like 17 times a day.
Yeah.
So watching and I I
was
felt for
disturbing.
Sutton, but also the fact that her mom's a therapist.
That drove me up the wall.
I
because
forgot
was
about
like,
that.
I was like, okay.
Who is
now,
paying?
once again, now hold on now.
Yeah.
Hold.
Can we also I'm sorry, this is completely off topic, but it made me think of it by saying now hold on now. I would just like to say that Wendy Williams might be able to get out of her conservatorship based on the new test
Yeah.
that was done, the
Thank God.
psychiatric evaluation.
Did you see her on the scooter?
Oh, yes.
She was bobbing and weaving.
She was bobbing
Through
and
the
weaving, and she
traffic
was
of people.
excited. And she should be able to drink.
Yeah. She's done enough for this country. Give her a drink.
Let her have her go-go juice.
Yeah.
You know, Bethany Frankel,
Oh.
say what you will.
fuck.
Bethany
Jump
Frankel
scare.
on her TikTok talked about what she thinks is going on. And I actually think it was a pretty astute observation. She said that there's a very big difference between having a syndicated show
Right.
like Wendy and Oprah and like Bethany once had, and having a network show like Kelly Ripa. Kelly comes to her show, she's got her contract, she reports to the president of ABC. That's it.
Yeah.
Versus Wendy and Oprah and a lot, syndicated shows where they kind of have many bosses.
Yeah.
They report to all the station groups. So, Sinclair and this, and you have to be a certain kind of person for Detroit. And then you're at 10 a.m. in Miami, but you're not doing any more. You used to be more controversial in Miami, so now you're not doing well. But then you got more controversial, but now in Alabama, your ratings are down. And it can be very intense. You're also running your own show. You are
Right.
running the company.
Right.
And as Almodovar once said, there are many women who are on the verge of a nervous breakdown. That's not to say that she's forever going to be like this. And so maybe
She
that's what
had a nervous breakdown.
Yes, it's too much pressure.
Let's just call a spade a spade.
She did.
And Bethany
Like,
was
come on.
saying that, maybe speaking out of...
Because Bethany was saying, I had a syndicated show. And she's like, it failed.
Well, Bethany's
It didn't
always
do
on the
well.
verge of a fucking mental
Yes,
breakdown.
correct.
I mean,
Yes.
really, please.
Yeah.
I love that it always goes back to her, too.
Yes, exactly.
Well, because,
but at least she admitted,
I'm like,
listen,
oh
it
great.
failed.
Let's make another TikTok with a bagel crisp cottage cheese and a new caviar. Ugh.
I will give her. I
get
will
a
give
fucking
her.
grip.
What will you give her?
Just businesswoman entrepreneur. Like it's
My
it's
favorite is
QVC.
Martha Stewart calling her obnoxious to her face.
I love that.
Wait, I haven't seen this.
Well, Bethany had her on her show, and she's like, I felt like you didn't like me. She's like, well, you were obnoxious. Or she didn't say obnoxious. She said a very, SAT word that escapes me now.
I can't recall now, but it was sharp.
not precocious,
It was
but
pointed.
something...
Cantankerous or something of the
something like that.
very a Martha word.
and
a
Martha
Westport,
Legend...
Connecticut type of word.
Yes.
That is the kind of entrepreneur I live
Very
for.
old maiden
Yeah.
shoes.
Yes.
Very that.
Speaking of, actually, I buried the lead there.
Ooh.
I was going to say, who do you think is the queen of reality TV?
Who is the queen of reality TV? Well, are we talking about
Just in general.
in general?
The
Well,
medium.
it's Tiffany Pollard.
Yeah.
But I think in the Housewives universe, it's either Teresa Giudice or Nene Leakes.
It's Nene
Yeah.
Leakes.
It's got to be
For
Nene
me,
Leakes.
it's got to be Nene.
This ain't Phaedra.
This ain't Phaedra is so
This ain't
important.
Phaedra.
Do you know what I want? Where I want to be always? I want to be in the back of the limo with Nene and Dwight, both going to and from Sheree's fashion show.
Oh.
That is I want to be there. I want to be inside the
A fashion show with no fashions. How dreadful.
I don't. Yeah, I want to just live there, trapped in in the Twin Peaksian kind of just
Your own Severance.
forever.
I want to
own
be
little
there.
severance
I
moment.
want to be in the room when Nene and Kim Zolciak meet up for the first time.
Oh my God.
Where she's like in her confessional, she's like, Kim wants to talk about something. I don't know. This bitch is stupid. I'm going to Kim's house to talk about something Kim's want to talk about. I don't know. This bitch is stupid. That is.
Oh my God. No, Nene gave us a lot.
Where is your scooter?
You can pull the tag down. They do make it when you have the coin. What if we just did an
Where is
episode
your
where we're
scooter?
just
You done
yelling
had
Nene
everything
lines
done
at each other?
Oh my God.
Where is your scooter?
My favorite recently is the TikTok sound trend where it's like Phaedra and Nene talking about well, because she's a bit older than I am by a few years.
I'm 43.
Well, by a few years to be exact. I'm 43 to be exact. She said, "Well, you're
I'm
older than my
43.
oldest brother.
Just turned
my
43.
We can."
We were not in high school together
We were
because
not
she
in high
is
school.
older than me.
Oh my God.
Oh gosh.
Oh no, we
Phaedra
could
was
sit here
lovely,
all
too.
day and just.
Phaedra
And
was
this is
lovely.
not.
Phaedra is lovely. I mean, she's bad.
Did you see
She's
her
a bad
Married to
person.
Medicine?
I did.
Exit?
Exit. Yeah. She's not a well woman, but she is. That's the thing. These women are great TV
personalities.
But also, many human beings are this unhinged as well. They just don't have a camera following them.
And they're
everywhere.
sitting right here.
Yes,
I'm owning up to my
Name.
the fact that we know too much.
Yeah.
So yes, we are.
But we are
unwell
keeping
by
the lights on
proxy.
over there.
So we know about like your favorite housewife stuff and like reality TV. What movie would you say represents your essence if you could pick one?
Last Holiday starring Queen Latifah.
Okay.
Dressed as Jackie Christie.
It's my favorite. It
such
actually
a
no,
good
it
movie.
truly is like my favorite movie. Oh my god. I don't.
Oh, wait, that's
Queen
a good
Latifah is my favorite actress.
Yeah.
Johnny knows this. I'm such a huge Queen Latifah fan. And just I grew up watching those rom-com, like the sweet spot of the early 2000s, you know, Queen Latifah years.
Yeah.
Of like
Like
from
her barbershop?
Bringing Down the House
Okay.
to
Yes.
Beauty
Yeah.
Shop
Bringing Down the
to
House.
Last Holiday to, you know, and I watch this movie to this day. I know exactly what happened.
Yes.
And I sob
Yeah.
hysterically.
Oh.
I am so happy for her.
Yeah.
That she's following her dreams.
Yes.
So happy for her.
and doing everything that she like wants to do before this like death sentence.
Yeah.
And then LL Cool J like walks up a mountain. It's just, it's you know, it does feel like my essence, like where it's like I don't know. Some days I wake up, I'm a Cancer. I'm very prone to depressive episodes.
Okay.
I could wake up one day and say I'm gonna die tomorrow, and I
That
need
is
to
And
know,
we need LL Cool J.
That is your
and I
essence.
need.
Yeah.
You know, I need to follow my dreams.
And congratulations, by the way, on your engagement to your LL Cool J.
Yeah.
Thank you
That's
so
amazing.
much. David will be very happy to hear that
To be compared to
he's being
LL Cool
compared
J.
to LL Cool J.
Oh my God.
I haven't
I'm
met
dead.
or seen the man, but I'm who knows?
He's a very lovely white man from
Okay.
Virginia.
Got it.
But he is my LL Cool J.
He's your LL Cool J.
No, it's I mean it is yes, it Last Holiday. And I'm so excited. Like I'm turning red. I get so excited to talk about Last Holiday.
I love that.
More so than talking about my engagement.
Yeah. How old were you when you first saw it? I'm just to get a
God,
gauge.
it came out in 2006, so I was 10, 11 years old.
Wow, that really is a part of your
Like my makeup. And when she gets to Prague, and I
Yes.
spent a month in Prague too.
You
Thank
bitches can't
you.
even spell Prague.
Y'all bitches can't even spell Prague. But when she walks into the boutique,
Yeah,
and she
to-
goes,
to get the-
"Make me international," and she tries on all the different outfits.
Yeah.
Say less. This is also the same year that like The Devil Wears Prada came
Yeah.
out.
Oh my God.
This
What a
is
year for film.
The same year that Ugly Betty came out.
Yes.
It is.
Indeed.
So you know,
Wow.
well,
all in very
so
good company.
at the end of the show with the guests, we either do a spilled milk, but this one's more fun because I like a girl with opinions and you have them. So
Okay.
we have a segment we like to call Eso sí or Eso no. And that means for anyone who doesn't speak Spanish, it's something you're living for or something you're hating. So you can choose if you want to go into the love and say Eso sí, or if you want to be a hater and be like Eso no.
And if we're getting super literal, that literally is saying that yes, that no.
No.
Kind of like if you're shopping.
Well,
and they brought-
obviously, I'm going to Eso No.
great.
And Johnny and I had the opportunity to go to a human rights campaign dinner the other night, where Hannah Einbinder was given the Visibility Award that
Yes.
Johnny has also received.
Oh my God.
And I think that my so no is empty words. Saying a lot of words without any meaning or care behind them. I think that saying things just for the sake of saying said words for political gain or to get a rise out of people, if you're saying things on a platform like that without a call to action, I would say that you probably should have just spared us all of your time.
reread the creative brief.
Like, let's just, like, if you're going to stand up there for 15 minutes, guess what I don't want to hear about? As a 40-year-old person, you're a middle school bully. Get over it, sis. That was 150 years ago. Why don't we talk about what's happening now?
Or use it as a bridge.
When you're an elected representative of this nation, especially in the times in which we're facing, I don't think that sticking to trying to catch a new catchphrase is going to be extremely impactful in passing pieces of legislation and protecting the bodies that you were elected to protect. So I think that we should do a better job of being a little bit cognizant of the words that we're saying and maybe say less. And that, you know, fame and recognition and notoriety is a drug. But I think that when you're an elected official of this nation, your intention should not be for fame or notoriety. It should be for protecting the American people. And I think that you know exactly who I'm speaking of from that evening.
Oh.
I'll tell you off the air.
Great.
I was like, wait, I spoke about my bullies in my speech. But it was a bridge. Yeah.
But like, you're not an elected official.
Right. No,
Like, you're being afforded, like, you're being given that award.
Yeah.
Like, so you can speak about whatever you'd like, but I don't know. I just think that's
I have a feeling I know
who
what you're talking about, who you're talking about, and we will offline about it.
Yeah. Well, in this moment more than ever,
Right.
please know what you're saying and say it.
And
with
that's
your
what I
full
loved
chest.
about Hannah's
just
speech.
be intentional.
Yeah. That's what I loved about Hannah's speech is that every single word that came out of her mouth was thought through, was cared for, and she cared about everyone who was listening as well.
That's right.
She really did.
You know what I mean?
And she was
And
cognizant.
she wasn't attacking anyone. She was just really saying, how can we be this way as people on earth?
And how do we do better?
And
like,
of
how
cour-
do
of
we
course.
show up? Like, I'm all for kind of these emotional appeals. I'm
course.
all for an emotional plea.
Yeah.
For justice.
For sure.
But I don't want to hear anymore like these empty phrases like let's fight
Yeah.
without telling me
How to fight.
how do I show up?
Right.
Let's fight.
Right.
Okay. Okay, anyway, like let's fight. You can go to xxx like .org and
Right.
donate to our campaign.
Right.
It's like it is so empty. It is so trite. And I think that people are afraid to speak up and rightfully so. You know, like I mean, all of us live, you know, are
Such
a
elaborate
part of
lives.
a very vulnerable community.
Yeah.
All of us have a lot to like, you know, a lot to lose in terms of like our freedoms but I just feel that, gosh, just having elected representatives be saying nothing is really telling
Yeah.
Yes.
about where we are right now.
Right.
It's tiresome.
And by the way, I just will say, what an interesting transition from the Housewives to that.
I know.
Well, that's what is so wonderful about you is that you have all of this versatility in
It's
you.
high-low.
It
Yes.
is.
It is.
And sometimes you got to watch the Housewives to be able to know how to fight. How to
fight.
See, I thought about this. I know we're jumping here, but someone was like, why don't you watch it? And I had to answer that question for the umpteenth time, like a week ago. And it really did come down to because I would really love it. I did used to love it. And I'm scared it would turn me into feeling free enough to be like, then I'm going to just say the thing and I'm going to say it all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Which I haven't-
Bitch better?
How about bitches? Bitch
Yeah.
better? You were stripping? You were stripping? I mean, the thing is
19
that thank
times.
God that David doesn't watch it.
Yeah.
And won't. He says it hurts his soul.
Because,
And so I have to get all
do we
of it
keep
like
finding
out of the way
Flynn?
before he like gets home. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Which
yeah.
is it's
That
good.
is fun.
Do you get to reenact it for him and then and therefore entertain him?
No, I mean the problem here is that I do, but he doesn't understand.
Yeah.
I don't set it up being like, and then in this episode,
You're like-
I'm just like, how about bitch? Is bitch better?
Yeah.
And he's like,
Or you'll just be in the kitchen and you'll be like, Joggers.
Spring,
Summer,
Spring,
September.
He is laughing. Doesn't know.
September.
No, I remember that
you know
one. I
joggers.
remember that
Okay,
one.
okay.
I remember that one.
Sometimes
We
you
see
never
each
know.
other. He's like,
That was Reunion.
Yeah, I'm sitting right in front of you.
That was Reunion, wasn't it? Yeah.
My favorite one to use is like whenever someone's I'm being unhinged or anyone else is like Taylor's in the closet. Taylor's in the closet.
And see, what makes it funnier to me, and that's what I love about sometimes not being so plugged in, is because I have such beautiful, verbal, and like entertaining friends who, to me, I think acted out, and their delivery is so much better than I can even imagine.
Oh, wow.
It is.
serious.
It is. I mean, my favorite though is the Danielle Staub.
Oh, of course.
I sat at home alone with diarrhea for 3 weeks because of you. I use that one often.
That is a great line.
Danielle
Because I do
Staub.
struggle with IBS and I want to tell the Tres Leches audience.
And sometimes you got to stay at home.
There was a flare up today. What
Right.
can I say?
And
You know
this
what?
year.
This is where we cut to the was that medicine you take when you have IBS?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know, but wait, there's medicine?
Yeah, of course.
We'll do an ad for them this
Yeah,
year.
exactly.
I'm
That's
sure.
what we're throwing to the ad.
Wait, no, hold on.
I think that there's a medicine, isn't there?
Pepto-Bismol.
Pepto-Bismol.
That's what I take. I just take the
Pepto-Bismol.
tablets
Lanta.
and then we're okay.
Oh
but
my God.
Oh, my Lanta. Well, we hope you don't have a shitty evening tonight.
yeah, we're ending on
Ooh.
IBS.
Yes, where else? We're always in the shitter. But
Yeah.
as Johnny said at the beginning, you truly are America's sweetheart.
You really are.
And you know,
guys.
I have to say something. You have the it reads on television, but you have the most gorgeous eyes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You really do.
You should see them when she's had a drink.
Ooh.
Yeah, they're bloodshot red and closed.
I can always tell. I'm like, oh, she's there.
She's drunk.
She's starting.
She's starting.
She's starting.
Don't you say that to me. Go get another mugshot, okay? I didn't get a mugshot, okay?
I already know Tom, Ryan, and they were married.
Oh my God, this is great. I can't wait to listen to this in the car.
Oh, same. I know we do need to stop.
Don't you feel very nice when your friend comes up to you and goes, "Are you drunk?" Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Tres Leches.
Yes.
I'm Mark and Delicado, special guest host today. And I'd like to thank all of you on behalf of Johnny, Ian, and Juan.
Oh,
Wow.
come back anytime.
We love
That was
you.
amazing.
Qué rico. Can you say qué rico?
No.
Bye.
Not unless you're putting him up in Coachella.
No.
Oh, that's so good.
Qué rico.